It's fine. Get up, I get up. Lose a focus, come on, be a go-getter. Stay focused. Opportunities.
Mashasane ngithi ake siquphisaneni bafethu njengoba sikulo hambo oqonde ngqo kumpumelelo njengoba ngithi sanibonani and salute to all my hustlers igaba uMekelele Shumo imina-ke uQ Marshall uhlelo iSpani bafethu njengoba ke starta nya ngesiminyaminya esikhona lapha emadressini abantu bafuna umsebenzi ngithi khuleka-ke sonifikisa sinithwale bafethu sinifikise emaphuphenweni bafethu ngithi le nqola-ke igcwele mfika upetrol uphuma lapha ku Sasol bafethu kungani-ke ngikhuluma ngayo yonke lento ingoba namhlanje kuSpani bafethu sibheka umkhakha obabiza ngokuthi i-control engineering silapha ke eSasol sihamba nehasta lethu uRudzani bafethu insizwa ke engabhala incwadi enesihloko sokuthi how to become an excellent student njengoba ke sizombona ukuthi insizwa very focused nginecisho ukuthi umndeni wakhe ke unomthelela omkhulu kuzonke izinto azenzile sohlangana naye sithi kumazi kangcono njengoba ngithi Rudzani baremini bhuti
Rudzani ndi muthu ane a dzula akho sea naho wa to mudinisa hani uḓo zwivhona zwori o kwata lwa tshetsho tshifhinga fhedzi mara ni muthu ane u friendly nga maanḓa.
Dzinga dzina ndi Rudzani Tshifani ndi Dzedzemane ndo bebelwa lwa Mondo hune ha vha nga ngomu Venḓa. Vhabebi vhanga vha na vhana vhavhili fhedzi hune ha vha nṋe na khaladzi yanga. Vhazwala vhashu nga Tshivenḓa ndi vhakomana vhashu na vharathu vhashu. Zwino ndo hula na mukomana wanga muṅwe ṅwana wa khotsimunene wanga na murathu wanga ane a vha ṅwana wa khotsimunene wanga. Ndi muṱuku ndo mbo ḓi diagnose uri nda ndi na asthma. Zwine zwo nyita uri ndi sa kone u tamba sports zwiṅwe na zwiṅwe zwo no nga bola vhaṅwe a tshi tamba bola tshikoloni nda tshi haneliwa u i tamba ngori zwa zwi ḓo vusa malwadze. Ndi tshi vhona vhaṅwe vhana vha tshi tamba bola nnḓa zwa zwi tshi mbaisa ndi tshi pfha uri na nṋevho ndi ṱoḓa u tswa ndi yo tamba navho fhedzi nda sa tendeliwi. Zwino na ḓuvha ḽe nda ḓi tou tswa nda ya nda tamba navho heḽo ḓuvha ya i khou na no una u tamba khezwo phepho no u gidima zwo mbo ḓi ṱangana zwa ita uri ndi asthma i vuwe.
Ndi khou zwi humbula o tou thoma ngo sokou ima a ndi tshi muvhudza zwa uri mulandu a vha khou mmbudza zwa uri ha khou kona u fema. U bva hanefho hune a musi a si tsha kona tshithu a mbo ḓi tou dzula fhasi ra mbo ḓi gidima ra hayani riṋe ri khou shavha ro tshuwa ra vha vhidza vha kona u ḓo vha mudzhia vha musa sibadela.
Vhabebi vhanga u vhona malwadze o vuwa vha vho tshuwa zwino zwo nthusa uri vha sa nkwatele nga maanḓa fhedzi ndo zwi vhona uri arali nda dovha tshifhinga tshiḓaho vha tshi ḓo nkwatela zwino thi ngo tsha dovha nda tswa yo tamba. Ndo aluwa muṱani hune khotsi anga vha vha tshi shuma dzhele maṱatshe u linda zwibandidi ane khotsi anga mushumo wavho vha ita uri vha vhe straight nga maanḓa vha sa sokou tendela ndi tshi ita zwiṅwe na zwiṅwe vha tshi nyanga ndi tshi ita zwithu zwine zwa vha zwa vhukuma fhedzi.
Vhabebi vha Rudzani ndi vhathu vhane vho fhambana nga personality nga maanḓa. Mme wa ndi vhona muthu ane a ri dzula ri khou sea a vha dini muthu ane o ḓifunela u amba na vhathu vha friendly.
Arali hu na zwithu zwine zwa khou itea khotsi anga ndi vhone vhane vha ḓo kwata mianga ndi vhone vhane vha ḓo vha vha khou nyimelela zwino zwa zwo ita zwavhuḓi ha hashu. Ndo thoma tshikolo Hillmary Primary School hune ndo vha ndi tshi wela kha dzi top 3 performer haningei zwine zwa tshi ita uri khotsi anga vha takale fhedzi vhone vha sa tou takala nga maanḓa vha tshi ṱoḓa ndi tshi vha kha 1 kha grade 8 performance ya isi yavhuḓi hune ndo ḓi ya kha class vha dzi divider kha A na B ndo ya kha class ya B zwine khotsi anga vha ngo zwi takalela nga maanḓa nori ho vha u tshi ri vha muṱa vho ḓa hayani khotsi anga vha ḓi vhudza vhathu vha muṱa ndi hone uri a thi khou ita zwone tshikoloni thi khou focusa zwine zwo nyita uri ndi file ndi ashamed ngori vha vha tshi khou ṱalutshedza muṱa woṱhe uri nṋe ndi khou feila hani zwine zwo nyita uri ndi phushe ndi kone u focusa kha tshikolo futhi. Ndi tshi aluwa subject ya science ya isa ntakadzi nga maanḓa nṋe nda tshi takadzwa nga zwiṅwe mara ndori ndi kha grade 10 nda vhona iṅwe TV program yo no pfi The Atom ine ndo kona u vhona uri science ya takadza na nḓila ine ya kona u combine kha science wa kona u combine maths na physics nga nḓila yavhuḓi zwa nyita uri ndi kone u funa science ndi kone u thoma u focusa khayo. And ndo phasa grade 12 mbilu haningei na distinction nda ri kona u rewardiwa uri ndo vha best performer ya maths na science kha Limpopo province ndi tshi phasa ndo mbo ḓi aplyela bazari ya Sasol uri ndi ite electronics engineering. Ḓuvha ḽe nda wana bazari yanga ndo vha ndo ima nnḓa ndi tshi tou vhona nda ndo takala hune ndo vhidza na vhabebi vhanga nda vha vhudza zwori ndo wana basari zwino vha songo tsha dinalea kha mafhungo o mbadetshela yunivesithi. Yunivesithi ndi tshi swika zwo dzhia tshifhinga nyana uri ndi kone u adjusta kha first year workload yo vha yo no engedzea mara ndo mbo ḓi vha na drive ya uri ndi focuse khadzo ndi phase zwavhuḓi na dzone ṅwaha wo thoma wo tshimbila zwavhuḓi ndi tshi fhedza nda kona u awodiwa uri ndi vhe kha top 3 ya department ya electronic engineering University ya Pretoria. Ndi tshi fhedza ndo mbo ḓi advisiwa nga lecturer wanga uri ndi ye kha honors na uri nda tshi khou funa u ḓivha uri course yanga hu itiwa mini khayo nga maanḓa nda kona u registera na honors nga University ya Pretoria ya electronics engineering ndi khou specialize kha control engineering. Matshelo ndi na mashudu uri ndi khou vha na interview yo uri ndi kone u joina graduate program ya Sasol. Ndi khou tama uri ndi kone u impressa vhathu vhane vha ḓo vha khou interview haningei uri ndi kone u wana position ndi vha joine ndi kone u wana experience kha career yanga ye nda i choose.
Tshiṅwe na tshiṅwe arali muthu a khou ita u ḓivhudza wa tshiwana na uri thoma mpfonele nga matshelo zwi ḓo tshimbila.
Wana mushumo zwi ḓo ita uri ndi kone na fhethu wanga ndi tshile ndi ndoṱhe ndi vhe independent vho zwa dovha zwa ita uri ndi kone u thusa muṱa wanga arali vha khou nyaga zwithu ndi vhe ndi hone nne. I just got into Sasol, preparing for my interview, and even though I prepared for the interview, I still feel nervous. I'm afraid of any questions that they might ask me that might throw me off. So right now I'm starting to get even more nervous as the time for the interview draws closer. I'm trying to find a way to keep myself busy to just get rid of all the nerves. Hopefully it will work out in this interview.
Good morning, Rudzani. Welcome to your interview for the Engineer in Training program. That's the Control Engineering Training graduate program position. My name is Londiwe Zulu from the Graduate Center. For this interview, I represent the Human Resources from Sasol.
I'm Uwe Schwind. I'm the Senior Manager of Production of the Vinyls plant, and we do have the vacancy of the Control Engineer position at our area.
Okay.
And welcome to the interview.
Oh, thank you.
So what we're going to do is we're going to make this interview very short and sweet, because I'm going to explain to you how the rest of the process is going to go. So firstly, what we're going to do is ask you a few questions. Nothing too difficult, just in terms of your experience here at Sasol and as well as at university. Secondly, we are going to give you 3 tasks that you are going to have to go and do practically. And then at the end of the day, we'll come back and we'll have a conversation around how your task and your interview has gone, and then we'll give you the outcome of the interview. Okay, are you comfortable?
Yes, I am.
So I'd like you to sit back and relax, and we'll take it easy. Firstly, take us through your academic journey. Tell us about your education.
Okay, I passed my matric from Billy Secondary School. I was doing subjects in maths and physical sciences. From there, I went to the University of Pretoria, where I did a 4-year Bachelor of Engineering degree in Electronics Engineering. In that, I passed it, and as part of that program, as part of that degree, I did courses in microcontrollers, control theory, and automation. And those are some of the courses that I think prepared me for this day.
All right. And
But why have you chosen to do something like automation and things like that?
Okay, I chose automation basically because from my university studies, I chose automation to be the right field for me, because it combined all the things that I liked in my university studies, because it has components from my microcontrollers course, from my communication systems course, and my control theory course. So it's a very good way to wrap around everything that I was interested in university.
okay. While you're speaking about your academics or your career at university, in reference to your academics at university in particular,
Yes.
Can you share with us what are some of the challenges that you've had to overcome to get to complete your degree in record time? Because according to your documents here, I see you completed your degree in 4 years.
Okay, the main challenges were some of the modules that I had. There are some modules that I felt like deregistering and adding a year. One of these is technical drawing, graphical communication. I had no insight into how to do technical drawing. And after every single practical test or assignment, I felt like deregistering the program and redoing it the next year. But I was dissuaded from doing that by my friends, and I thank them for that, because after persevering and doing a lot more examples in it, I was able to get a better understanding of the module, and after that I was able to finally pass the module at the end of the semester.
All right. That's very interesting. It just goes to show not all the courses at university is going to be a breeze, and you just need to put an extra effort in each one.
Yes.
You know, here at Sasol, we all have a couple of hours just to get in and out every day. And that speaks to also the position that we are interviewing you for.
Yeah.
So we'd like to get an understanding of how you manage your work. So in particular, maybe you can reference to your work period or your academics at university. But can you please share with us, how have you prepared for a task or an exam when your timetable was really demanding? So you had a lot to do in very little time. How do you go about preparing for all of that?
Okay, the way in which you do that is to organize the tasks that you have based on importance and your own ability in each one of those tasks. So if you know that you're strong in one area, it's better to focus more on the areas that you're not so strong on, so that they don't pull you down together. So the way in which I structured my academic studies in the case wherein the timetable was filled was to focus more time in the modules that I had more difficulties with, more than the ones that I found easier. And that allowed me to level out the performance so that they are roughly the same, so that I'm not pulled down by one particular module. So prioritizing things is what I normally use to get through time constraints.
Did you find that works for you?
That did work for me at that moment, at that time. I'm still looking forward to testing it in industry to see if my prioritization strategy will work.
Okay.
You will also know that working in the industry like what we've got, that there will be sometimes longer hours involved. And what I mean by this, if there's problems to solve, if there's breakdowns, you will work longer hours to get that solved because it is very expensive to keep a plant down. What do you think of that?
For me, working long hours is it's nothing new, so I'm already used to that. During my final design project, I had to stay up until late at night for multiple days, where I'd work on about 4 or 3 hours of sleep a day. So to me, that is not a major problem. As long as I can push through and see whatever I'm trying to solve get solved, that to me is more rewarding than sleep.
All right. Last question from my side. Why the Sasol graduate program?
For me, I feel like this is the program that will get me a lot of exposure, because with Sasol, you're not limited to one particular type of process that you can work on. For example, I know that there's continuous plants, so I can get exposure on how to do process automation on continuous plants. On batch plants, I can get exposure on that as well, and as well as discrete manufacturing plants in terms of your pack lines. So this is a chance to get a wide variety of career exposures to me. In addition to that, I know that the graduate program is quite strong, because it's linked to EXA. From talking with previous guys, I know that your program is linked with EXA competencies, and so this will allow me to get registered after I have completed the program.
Absolutely. So what we offer is a 36-month program, but it's very structured in terms of what you do in each of the months, and after every 6 months we will offer you a review, so you know each time what is happening with your career, whether you're on point in terms of what you're supposed to do, or whether you need to put in an extra effort in terms of your deliverables. And we do pride ourselves as having one of the best graduate programs in the country for engineers. So I also think it's a great choice that you have made. All right, in closing, do you have any questions on your side?
Not, but just to explain to you what we will do, we will give you about 3 tasks to do during the day, and based on that we will have a look on the answers, and then we will come back to you and give you feedback.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. May you enjoy your day.
Thank you for this opportunity.
All right.
Mathata a o fetang ka hare ho ona a ho kwetlisetsa sebaka sa hore o be moetapele bokamosong. Ha ile Rudzani o otlile dintlha tse bohlokwa kaofela haholo ka bua ka di-subject tse a ithutetseng tsona. Hustlers, ha e ka ba ha ona experience, bua ka di-subject tsa hao, mathata a o fetileng ka hare le ona le hore o hlotse jwang. Ha e ka ba o banne le mathata a mangata bophelong, bahiri ba batla wena hobane wena sontso o hlophisitswe hore o ka nka sebaka sa mosebetsi. Control engineering e rutwa mane ko di-electronics le di-electrical engineering, ko mechanical le aerospace engineering. Hustlers, ha le thuto ke karabo ya mathata a hao a bokamosong ba hao. Ha se o ifumane o bana le bokgoni ba go kwintsha go bofutsaneng, and o kgona hape le o shebisisa dintho ka ditsela tse fapaneng. Ka ho he o kgona go tla le tharollo ho mathata a mangata a o kopanang le ona bophelong.
Hustlers, njengoba nazi bafethu sisuka ke enyangeni ezokhethwa bafethu, ngithemba ukuthi nawe ke ukhetheke noma ke uvotele iqembu elezepolitiki ezokakhela ikusasa eligqamile, phinde futhi likwakhele amathuba omsebenzi. Kodwa ubuwazi izizwe ezingango-22 mhlaba wonke jikelele, ukubala i-Australia, i-DRC ne-Brazil, ukuthi uma ungayi ke enkundleni zokuyovota ungahle ke ujeziswe ukhokhiswe imali. Thina sifuna ukwazi ngabe lona umqabango omuhle noma ke obhedayo. Kanti lisheni imiqabango yenu khona lapha ku Twitter na ku Facebook njengamanje, ngoba uyazi ngestamto we connect.
My name is Vanessa Pillay, and I am the Instrumentation and Control Engineering Manager for Sasol Operations Technical Division. Hi Rudzani, I'm Vanessa Pillay.
Hello, Vanessa.
Nice to meet you, Rudzani. Rudzani, I have a project for you to complete today. Currently, the operators manually charge an additive solution between two tanks, and I need you to automate this process. Your first task will be to have a discussion with the clients to determine the problem and to document the customer requirements.
Okay.
All right. For task 1, I've given Rudzani the task of problem definition and customer requirements. Problem definition is the most important step in the successful implementation of any project. Before you can actually design solutions, you need to understand the problem. The first step in understanding the problem is to identify the key stakeholders. Once a stakeholder is identified, it is important to meet with all of them to understand their requirements. Quite often, engineers assume that they understand the problem only to deliver a solution that does not meet the customer requirements.
Controller is for the control hustlers. Tiphethe uRudzani bafethu ozama ukuxazulula laphana inkinga ze-automation for abantu ke abangamqasha iSasol babambisene ke ne-client yabo. Kodwa ngaphambi sibona ukuthi insizwa iqhubeka kanjani khona laphana. Ngithi let me give you nice life problems bafethu. Njengoba ngizoshaya nge-word jumble lethu yakule viki. Njengesiqhelo bafethu uyazi nginikeza ama-clue azonceda ukuthi nizame ke ukuqagela ukuthi eliphi legama esilifunayo bese ke ufaka eyakho impendulo khona laphana ku-Twitter naku-Facebook. Into angitshelayo ukuthi uyabona legama esilifunayo bafethu lihambiselana nezinto azabe azenza namhlanje. Awuthi nginikeza amaletha amabili bafethu which is the letter U and T. Ngithemba ukuthi uzokhona ukunceda. I'm in a good mood bafethu. Akethemba ukuthi nemento yakhe ke ijabulile bafethu ngeke aze ayijabhise njengoba ke azohamba laphana ke ayoshaya iscooping automation of the charging system. What task yoqala? Ngithi I hope you charged up.
Hi Lebo, I'd like you to meet Rudzani. He's actually here for an interview and I've given him the project already and he's busy with his first tasks, so he would actually like to get a better understanding of the problem, so he has a few questions for you.
Okay, pleased to meet you, Rudzani, and welcome here. Hi, Lebu, thank you. Okay. Lebu, I have a few questions. The first one is, I'd like to know why we need to do the automation so that I get a better understanding of the problem. The most important thing for me to get out of this brief was what the customer considers to be the most important aspects of the design.
Well, you see, currently we actually do the charging manually, and this is actually a little bit of too much of a work for the operator himself because he actually gets quite busy, and there's a risk that we can actually overfill the tanks. And the one other problem that we have with the system, the way it's currently being operated, is that the operator actually is a bit difficult for the operator to actually get the accuracy we need when filling, and we actually need good accuracy during the filling. And the other problem that we have again is that when we want to track how much did they charge and fill, sometimes they forget to put it on a log, and so we lose that data. So in this system, we would like to also have something that actually can capture the data for us to see exactly how much did they actually charge. So these are more of the core problems that we have with the system currently as we have it.
A control system can be equated to the brains in your body. You have various different body parts, but it's actually the brain that coordinates what needs to happen and when. So that is exactly what a control system does. And a control engineer is responsible for programming that control system.
And on the safety side of this system, is the product that we are transferring hazardous?
Yes, it is very, very hazardous, and we cannot afford any spillages on this product.
Okay, so we'll need to provide for protection against that.
Definitely.
And when it comes to the charging, at what accuracy do you need the charging to be?
Well, we will need the charging accuracy to be at about 1% accurate.
Okay. Like in this case, he stressed that safety is an important aspect. I have to make the safety requirements of the system to have a much more important role in the final design. When the product is being transferred, how many kilograms are normally transferred at a time?
Well, we normally transfer about 150 kilograms.
Okay. And because you said you cannot afford a spillage, at what level should we actually stop the transfer in tank to the next tank?
You see, the current design is that we stop the transfer at 500 kilograms. So that's exactly what we'll still be looking at.
If you want to be a control engineer, you can either study chemical engineering or you can study electronic engineering. Control engineering is all about optimizing the process and making sure you get consistency. Consistency is so important. In order to get the quality correct, you need to be able to reproduce the results. And a control system is what will actually help you to do that.
And on the next one, what's the pressure of tank A?
The pressure of tank A is 700 kPa.
Okay, and for the next tank, tank B?
It's 500 kPa.
Okay, when it comes to the amount transferred, what units would you like the transfer be measured at?
Well, you see, we use SI units and we normally use kilograms.
Okay, and with what the operator can request for the charge, how much should be the minimum and maximum that the operator is allowed to request for the charge?
Well, the operator is required well, he can call a maximum of 150 kilograms and a minimum of 20 kilograms.
Okay. The problem was a bit more multidisciplinary in the way it was, because it had a lot of process elements, and on it had to consider a lot of things from the production side as well as the safety side. It wasn't a purely electronic based project, and that is something that I'm finding out here, that you will not work on a specific field on its own, but you'll have to consult other people. And with the flow meter that we have to measure the amount that's being transferred, what is the range that the flow meter has?
Well, the flow meter we have, the range is 0 to 10,000 kilograms per hour.
Okay. I feel like task 1 actually tested the way in which I interact with people. So in that case, I think for it, they were testing how I actually talk to customers and how I interact with them. So it's a good way to see what I can expect in the future in terms of interacting with customers. Okay, with all this information, I think I have enough to start with the project. So thank you very much.
Okay.
I think Rudzani did very well. I was impressed with the questions that he asked. The questions were direct, related to the design, and look, at Sasol, the safe way is the only way. So I must say I was very impressed that he did actually consider safety, and he asked relevant questions around safety.
Rudzani o supile utlwisiso e utlwahalang ka se client e se batlang. Le ha ane ntse a batla clarity go tswa go client, o ne a thusa client gore le yona e bane le bonnete ba se e se batlang. Ho kena lekaleng lena o tlhoka senior certificate ya exemption, maths le physical science di compulsory. Di subjects tse ka o thusang ke computer studies le technical drawings. Mahaslas ha di challenges tsa lona e ska ba di stop sign tsa lona, empa ha ebe dithuto le disupo tsa mehato e meng o ka enkang, hobane ho se kgathaletse hore maemo a hao a shebagala jwang, ho teng se o ka se etsang ene wa phomella ho sona. Ha ile go Rudzani, jeka ha project ya hae e le technically, ho bohlokwa hore tharollo ya hae e sebetse. Tasking e latelang re mmona a bopa simulation e tla lekolang tharollo ya automation.
Rudzani, you did an excellent job engaging with the client. I'm very happy with the questions that you asked. Your next task is to develop the simulation on the simulation system. Do you have any questions?
No, I feel like now I have everything I need. After going to the equipment room and checking the process engineer, I can finally continue on with the next task.
Okay, well done. In task 2, Rudzani is required to develop the simulation. What I'm actually testing for is, was he able to convert the customer requirements that he documented into the solution? So he will need to make sure that he actually factors every single requirement into the simulation.
Hustler Sihle Ndzimbomvu.
From the equipment room work, I found that there's enough space on the DCS, so I'll create the system on the DCS simulation station. The first step will be to create control modules that will allow us to control the equipment in the field. I'll start with the flow controller control module, and to do that we use Control Studio. I'll put in an analog input block that will read the flow from the field, as well as an analog output block that will control the valve and ensure that we have a constant flow rate. I also need a PID function block, and the main purpose of this block is that it will ensure that we have the flow rate that we desire, so that we can have consistent results and accurate results during the charging phase. So in this case, I'll connect the analog input card to the input and the output port to the output. The next step will be to link the analog input to the actual field tag so that it can read from the field. From the brief that Lebo gave, I can see that the complexity of the problem is not too great. However, there are some small details that I'll need to consider in the final design that wouldn't be as apparent unless I had talked to him and discussed to see what he considers to be a problem. The same with the analog output. I have to connect it to a physical device in the field. So in this case, that's going to be a valve. And that's it with this control module. I'll do the same thing for the control module for controlling the pump and the level indicator in the tank. For the level indicator in the tank, in this case, I only need an analog input.
Programmers are usually best suited for this environment. You actually need to be logical. You need to be able to think in a logical manner, and you need to be able to translate that logic into a program so that the system fits the functionality.
And to connect it to the actual field, instrument in the field. I'll do exactly the same thing for the other equipment in the field. After creating all the control modules, the next thing that I'll do is to create the graphic that will be used in order to communicate, that the operator will use in order to control the plant. This is important because it is what the operator uses in order to interact with the process. And the main thing about creating a graphic is that it has to be simple and easy to use and very user-friendly. For the graphic, I have to start with an existing template so that this graphic can be the same as the existing graphics in the DCS. So in this case, with the graphics, I'll start by putting in the two tanks. This will be the first tank and the second tank, and I need to put in labels for the two tanks. To me, when it comes to engaging in clients or the technical side, I think I prefer the technical side more because to me, the more exciting part is seeing your solution work. Finding out how to go to the solution is important, but to me, when I see the solution work, that's when I get a sense of enjoyment. After all the graphics have been put together, this is what the system will finally look like in the end. From the user requirements here, and after talking to the process engineer, I was able to create this graphic. Here you have your first tank and your second tank, and the pump is used to take the additive solution from tank A all the way up to tank B, and we have an additional valve which is a recycle valve. Why this is important is so that you can have recycling of the product in this side of the diagram first, so that pressure can be built up on this line in such a way that it will be high enough so that it is higher than the pressure in tank B, and this will allow the transfer to actually start. The flow measurement is taken here, and that is used to control the recycle valve on this side of the diagram. I'm confident that the solution that I developed is appropriate and that it meets all the requirements that the customer wanted.
Ka nnete Rudzani o tseba taba tsa hae, o shebagala a thabela sena a se etsang, ene hape se bonagala se le ka hare ho yena. Motho ya tshwanetseng ho etsa mosebetsi ona ke motho ya lokelang gore a be bohlale haholo, ke motho ya tlamehang ho bana le bokgoni bo hodimo ba dipalo le science, motho ya nang le bokgoni bo tibileng ba go lekola le go batlisisa. Mahustlers, bokgoni ba Rudzani le bona bo tekong. Tasking ya hae ya ho qetela, simulation ya hae o tlameha ho itlhalosa, o tlameha ho tlhalosa tharollo ya hae, ene hape le gore e sebetsa jwang.
Well done, Rudzani. I'm very impressed with the work that you've done on task 2. Your next task is actually to present the solution. Now, remember here, you actually need to sell the solution to the customer. So you need to demonstrate all the functions and functionality that you have actually programmed. And yeah, good luck with the task.
Thank you, Vanessa.
In task 3, Rudzani will be required to present his solution to the instrumentation manager, and communication skills is an important competency that a control engineer must have. He can have the best solution, but if he cannot convince other people of the value of the solution, then he will not be a successful control engineer.
Rudzani is the power. Hey, iSpani is the power. Show Hustlers. Ngisahleli nathi bafethu sihamba naye uRudzani insizwa ke ngithi kela ukuthi ePrimary beyine emsileni number 60 kodwa yasebenza kanzima, yasebenza ngokuzimisela bafethu, yaphuma number 1 khona lapha euniversity. Umphumela khona uzithola ke la akhona bafethu eSasol. Kaze uyohamba njani? Ngithi sizothola impendulo emva kwekhefu, nempendulo ke yayo iword jumble. Ngiyazi bafethu ngithole kanzima. Awuthi ke nginikeze another clue. Senginikezile ke uyu bafethu ngaphinde futhi nganikeza uT. Awuthi nginikeze another clue just for you bafethu. Ngithemba ukuthi sizonceda, but right now I'll see you after the break. Ngithi lenqola bafethu isashaya ijikeleza. I'll be back right kule station bafethu ungaphambili SABC 1. Ungadideki, unganyakazi. Siyabuya.
Thank you, Lebo, for taking time out. Rudzani has completed task 2, so he will now demonstrate his simulation to us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, Lebo. I've made a recording of the system in action, and this is what I'm going to demonstrate to you now.
Okay.
I've created an operator graphic for the system for the operators to use to control the plant. Okay, so this is the graphic that I've created. I try to model it to as close as possible to what is on the physical plant, including the 2 tanks, the pump, and the valves that are required.
Okay.
In it, I created a start button for the operator to use in order to start the sequence. And as soon as the operator presses a start button, a prompt will appear asking for his username. This will allow you to track who requested a transfer for fault finding purposes.
That's very good.
After that, the operator will enter the value that he wishes to charge, and then the sequence can then begin. From the diagram, you can see that the pump and the valve have turned green, which means that they've now started operating. But you'll notice that one valve at the end there has not turned green yet.
Okay.
This is because the system is still recycling the product to build up pressure on that line before it is transferred to the second tank. And as soon as the pressure has been built up, then the transfer can begin. In the next 5 years, I hope to be working in Sasol or a similar company working on interesting technical problems in the field of automation. I also created a totalizer. I'll open the faceplate for the totalizer here. You can see that it's starting to totalize, so the amount that is being charged is increasing. So as it flows in, it counts how much it has actually transferred. When it reaches the required value that I set, which is 30, then it will stop totalizing.
Okay.
On the other side, you can see that I created a log so that you can view the last 10 charges that were made. And with this, you can be able to track how your system has been used, how much was being charged before, so that if anything happens, you have a history of what has been done in the system. Okay, that is it with this system. Do you have any questions on it? There's always the probability that you might find questions that are difficult, and in such cases, the best thing to do is to tell the person asking them that you will go and look for a solution. You don't have it at this point, but don't just say that you don't have an answer to the question, but tell them that you'll make an effort to go find out and give them the answer that they require.
Okay, I also have a couple of questions for you. One of the questions that I have is that will the charge quantities be available on our business network?
For now, because this is a simulation, I haven't connected the simulation to the business network. But when we bring it onto the live plant, it will be easier to configure the communication with the business network, because the communication already exists. With the connection between the DCS and the business network already exists. We just need to open the connection with the batch information, the amount charged.
Okay. The one other question I have is that what happens if the operator wants to stop the sequence in an emergency situation?
I have configured a stop button on the system that the operator can press and abort this charging process.
All right. Now tell me, on your program, did you program the sequence to prevent the charge from starting if the level is low?
Yes. If the level is low, the sequence will not start, so that we do not damage the pump in the system.
Okay. On your demonstration here, I see that the recycle valve is not working. Why is that?
That's a good question. Right now, the system is not connected to the live plant. Okay. And because of that, there is no feedback on how much the valve is actually opened. So you'll see that it won't show the correct value in this case. But when we connect it to the live plant, you'll be able to see the valve opening.
Okay, okay. That makes sense. Thank you for that.
Welcome back, Rudzani. I hope you had a productive day.
Yes.
How has it been for you?
It's been challenging, but it's been fun.
It's been fun.
Yes.
All right. Like we discussed earlier this morning, we're just going to give you some feedback on how you've performed today. And yeah, so Uva will start and give you feedback in terms of your tasks.
Rudzani, yeah, I need to say that what I've seen, you are an excellent candidate. I'm very happy of that. I like the approach that you followed. You listened carefully, you followed a systematic approach to come to a proper solution. So what you've done is a well done type of approach and a well done task. So yeah, well done. And congratulations.
On that light, we are very pleased to offer you the position engineer in training control engineering. This is your contract that would like you to just read through and sign. It's got all your terms, your conditions, your working hours, and when you start working. So you are welcome to give us a call to clarify any of those things that are on the contract. But please read through it very carefully and welcome to the Sasol family.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm just done with my day. It started off as being quite intimidating. The interview that I had at the beginning was scary, it was very intimidating. The tasks that I had were exciting but also intimidating in terms of speaking with all the individuals that I had to talk to, but in the end, it was good to see the final product work. It was good to see their reactions when it worked, them accepting the final design, and it was very exciting to finally hear the news that they've offered me the position. Now I can be able to get the experience that I need. I can look forward to an exciting career. And from here on, I can finally look forward to living life on my own, getting experiences on my own, and being more useful to my family. And on that note, hustlers, press up, push up, panda.
O sebeditse Rudzani. Re ithutile ka wena hore bophelong ha o kgathaletse hore ho etsahetseng kapa ho santsane ho le hole hakakang mo o tlamehang ho ya teng. Ha fela o sa lahle tumelo, tsohle kaofela di ka phethahala. Potso ya rona ya beke ena e tswa ko Promise. A re yena o batla ho ba boiler maker through apprenticeship. Ho kena lekaleng lena o tlhoka grade 9. Di-subjects tse ka o thusang ke maths, physical science le trades theory. Ha se o di fumane he, o tlameha ho register le mohiri ya nepahetseng hore a ka o traina. Training ena e habedi, ke theory ke practical. Mane ho theory o tlhoka N2 e le hore o ka ithola ko FET college. Mane ko di practical ke in-service training. Ka tlasa ha motho e leng hore o qualified hore a ka o sheba. Ha se o qetile o tlameha ho ngola test ya trades theory mane ko Department of Labour hore o be a qualified artisan. Ho bolela hore dintho tsena kaofela di ka ho nka dibeke di le 80 ho ya ho dilemo di le 4, and o tlameha ho bana le dilemo di le 16. Ha e ka ba hona le ho sa utlwang, ho bolela ho checkela Facebook kapa website ya rona. Ke emetse ya hao potso.
Tata Rudzani ngithi tata hayi bafethu Rudzani uyadlisa jealous down ngithi iyo hustlers iyo njengoba ke uRudzani bafethu asendleleni ke yokuzakhela eksasa egqamile njengayo ke i-control engineer khona laphana eSasol bafethu ingoba ke bekasebenza nzima ayenza yonke into abamtshele yona bafethu khona manje i-life yakhe isithebelele ngithi ake sebe zonke into zakhe ziyohamba kahle eksaseni lakhe. But right now it's 5 4 3 2 1 sorry uma ke ungakathumele yakhe impendulo sokusikhathi ukuthi yinikeze impendulo khona laphana u-word jumble. Igama kade silifuna bafethu yi-automate. Yabona ke moyitholile umngani wami bafethu, you are my mate. Uma ke ungayitholanga we'll meet next week. Mina ngalawo magama ngiconsa zonke intambo sengiphuma kanje ngithi asihlangane khona laphana enkundleni zokuxhumana bafethu, and also on our YouTube and website. And don't forget to watch our repeats go Thursday bafethu ngo 11 o'clock. Mina ngihlala ngitshela ngithi don't look down, look up and stay up. Press the push up panda. Ngisilima thuzu uhlelo lethu. Wena tukutuku faka umoya. See you next week.